Hello and welcome to the virtual towers of Binary Arcadia, where the games go on long into the night. Today we're going to be doing a predictions video, and today we'll be predicting what we think we'll see at E3. We're going to split this into some categories, so things that we think are highly likely that we'll see at E3, things that we think are possible to be seen at E3, so may see them, may not, and some things that we're calling Dreamland, where it's extremely unlikely that we'll see them at E3, but we would like to see them nevertheless. Right then, let's get into it. So we're going to start with highly likely. Do you want to kick us off, Tabz?
Yeah, sure, mate. I was just going to head up at the start as well to say that, we are just covering off what we think are the most potentially interesting reveals. I mean, there's series and franchises that usually churn out a sequel every year or every couple of years, which are kind of expected. We might touch upon them, Rich, but I don't think we're going to go into too much detail.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess there we're talking, the FIFAs, the NHLs, the Call of Duties, those that are literally just banged out every year. They're so likely to happen at E3 that we're probably just going to cover them off completely because, I'm not saying they're not good games, but they just don't inspire us as much as some of the other things that are on this list.
They're expected, aren't they? And they don't really create a great deal of texture in terms of the excitement and everything. So, yeah.
Exactly.
So highly likely. First on our little list here, Rich. So we've got kind of a double barrel, this one. So the Avengers game reveal alongside some sort of DC reveal. So... Okay. Do you want to talk us through what you know about that one, Rich?
So I'm assuming you're referring here to we've recently seen in, I don't think it was the last State of Play, it was the previous one. They debuted a VR Iron Man, I think it was, or it certainly looked like Iron Man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. VR Iron Man. I mean, it's actually prior to this that there's, I can't remember what it was now, but there's some sort of evidence to suggest that Square Enix are working on an Avengers game of some kind. I don't know if there was a trailer actually. Something was revealed. Yeah, I think it might have been even a year or two back that they're working on something, and it would be really cool if they did something in VR. But I don't know if it will be. Don't know if Square Enix have a big kind of reputation for doing much in VR. Okay. And then the other side of it is Rocksteady are apparently working on something in the DC universe, whether that's a Batman game, whether it's Justice League, something completely different. I'm not entirely sure, but I think highly likely that we'll get, on the back of Avengers Endgame as well, all the buzz about superhero movies. It seems like a good sort of, bit of timing, doesn't it, to cash in on that excitement.
Oh, absolutely. All right, well, that'll be interesting. Hopefully we can see that. Like I say, highly likely. I'm going to kick off with something certainly I'm very excited about. I think we will see a new Death Stranding trailer, and I think possibly maybe a complete reveal. I don't think that game is too far away. I don't know whether it will be late this year, early next year, but I think we'll definitely see a trailer, and I think there's a good chance we will see a complete reveal of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll see... I'd love to see an on-stage demo where, Kojima explains it while somebody else is playing it. Maybe multiple people are playing it. On the back of that theory we put out the other day, Rich. But
yeah, exactly.
We know, we've seen on his Instagram and stuff, he's obviously working on a trailer, because we've seen, I think it's Adobe Premiere, haven't we, in the background on a computer screen, and all the tracks and stuff on it. So definitely a decent trailer, and I'm hoping we'll finally find out, for the most part, what it's all about.
Definitely. What's next?
So this is a bit of a rumoured thing. Xbox Game Pass, or a version of Xbox Game Pass for the Switch.
Yeah.
So as we know, it had Cuphead's recently been released for the Switch. Microsoft, Nintendo are bosom buddies, it seems. There's a bit of a rumour out there that therefore the Switch could have some sort of Game Pass, which, just for those viewers out there who don't know what that is, I think it's a service whereby you pay a monthly subscription to get access to a library of games. And do they? I think you download them, do you, Rich, on Game Pass?
Yes, you do, mate.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So, the thought is that there may be at least a number of games that come to the Switch, but I don't know. That's a massive undertaking, isn't it? Because it means they need to essentially port a number of old Xbox or even current Xbox games onto the Switch. So, be interesting to see how that goes down, but it would be amazing. It would be absolutely
definitely. I think what will happen there is they'll just pigeonhole themselves into games that are easily portable. Anything that needs lots of work, I guess they'll just go, it's not worth it.
Yeah, which suggests they'll all be kind of, not big story AAA titles. They're more likely to be, kind of triple B titles or triple C titles.
Like, you're not going to see a Gears of War or a Forza or those kind of games on there. I just don't think that'll happen. But we'll see.
Yeah.
To be fair, that brings us on nicely to, I think we'll see some more information about Gears of War 5. I think that's a strong possibility. Probably just a trailer. But I know there's been some gameplay videos of that already, so probably more of the same there.
Well, I think they've shown so much that they could do a playable. They could do a playable drop of some portion of the game. But, who knows? Like you say, it could just be another trailer.
And as we know, Microsoft are doing a proper conference this year, so that's definitely possible. That could be one of their things. Something else that they could drop, Halo Infinite, Tabs?
Yeah, we got the teaser, didn't we? So I think we're very likely to see some actual, considerable part of a gameplay reveal, if you like. Even if it's only another short trailer just to give us a taste. Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, because basically they just showed like one of those game reveals where it's just an FMV, really, isn't it? That you just...
Did they tell us what platform it was on? Did it confirm it was for the the current Xbox, or was it next gen?
No, I don't think they said at all. It was almost like what is it called? Master Chief, is it?
Yeah.
They literally just showed him or an iteration of him. Looking into the abyss or the sunset or something like that. So I think probably you're going to see some gameplay there, and I wonder whether this will be linked to something that we're coming on to in Possible, but we'll come back onto that. What else would you like to present in the highly likely tabs?
I think Bethesda's Starfield has a good chance of a reveal. Again, we saw a kind of a teaser trailer for that, and it seems to be the next big game in their lineup that we'll see, certainly before the next Oblivion. I think that is a good shout. And also, switching to Nintendo, Pokemon Switch 2. Surely we get at least another trailer, a second trailer after the initial one we saw recently.
Yeah. Possibly with a bit more. I mean, I did think there was some gameplay interspersed in Pokemon.
Yeah, hint of it, right?
I wonder whether there'll be more, because it was very hard to see how you went into and out of battles. It almost looked instantaneous, and there's been some rumour out there that maybe that was stretching the truth a little bit. And if they haven't implemented that, then that's really good. But it'll be interesting to see whether they can show more of that and see how that little mechanic works. Yeah,
I think that last trailer was a bit dubious, wasn't it, in terms of actually believing it was in game rather than it just them staging it. So
exactly,
be good to see.
And then I think also probably from Nintendo, there's some Animal Crossing gameplay reveal you've heard of, Tabs?
Well, I don't know if there's any rumours as such. It's just what was the trailer? Did it get its own standalone trailer on a Direct recently? Or was it on the end of something?
It might have been on the end of something, and it was almost just like a clip of one of the characters, I think, possibly.
Yeah, was it Tom Nook, or was it somebody? One of the
something
characters.
Like that. Yeah.
So we know they're working on an Animal Crossing. E3 is a nice big venue to stir that excitement up again. So maybe more of a full fat trailer for that. I would say would be likely.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's a suggestion that Bungie may show us a Matter, which is sort of an Overwatch Fortnite's competitive online first-person shooter game. Is that
Well,
what it is?
that's all my thinking. All we know is I think that Bungie are working. I think we've had a logo on something called Matter, and it's the word matter, but it almost looks like there's paint splatter all around the edges, multicolored paint splatter. And the other piece of information is we know that a Chinese company of some kind have put $100 million investment into this game. So we know that Bungie are now free of the shackles of Activision since the Destiny days. So hopefully it's a return to form. The fact that there's that large an investment though just makes me think they're going to be doing something which has a lot of, a big chance of being a popular trending game. Something along the lines of on Overwatch, Fortnite, the whole competitive online scene, and of course we know. Go on.
And we know nowadays that's a game that creates continuous revenue. We know that that's like a ticking of money, and a company that wants to be, almost have that grounding now they're away from Activision. That might be, a great business idea as well as a good gaming idea. So,
absolutely. But Bungie obviously have a great experience and knowledge with first-person shooters as well. So you kind of guess it's going to be a first-person shooter. But exactly as you say there, Rich. What better way to kick off, their own independence by getting, really recouping some funds, building themselves a foundation again for the future.
Exactly.
But who knows? That's all guesswork. Matter could be anything. We might be way off.
Go on.
No, you go, mate.
So I think there's definitely rumours of a new Assassin's Creed, which will be a bit of a move away from the recent trend and possibly a Viking style, which sounds really cool. I think that could be really cool. I'm a big fan of the Assassin's Creed series. Played a lot of them. I certainly like is it Black Flag Tabs? Was that
the piratey sort of one? I think.
Yeah. I completed that, almost 100%ed that. I loved that game.
Did you, mate? I didn't know you did.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Really, really liked that game.
Interesting tangent, actually. Black Flag, I think, is kind of what inspired. Is it Ubisoft's Skull and Bones, which is this new ship, strategy game. It almost looks like. So we've not got this on the list actually, but I think Skull and Bones, we're likely to see some more of it because we've already seen gameplay trailers. And demos, so I think we'll definitely see some more of that. But yeah, just to build onto the back of what you're saying there, Rich, we've seen God of War do the whole Viking thing, haven't we, recently, which I think was really well done. I think it's a load of mythology that they can explore and really, really get the most of. So I think, like you say, great idea, excited about that. I'm sure the codename Ragnarok has been rumored for it, so
that's interesting.
Yeah, so it almost seems a definite that we'll see an Assassin's Creed with some kind of Viking vibe.
Cool. And I think the last thing that's highly likely for us is that we'll see some more of The Last of Us Part 2 game coming out this year. I think that's almost confirmed. I think this is far enough along the pipeline. I think this could be playable. I'm not sure where, but I reckon this could be playable somewhere at E3 this year.
Yeah, it's hard to say because we know that they finished filming recently for the story, but they're also hiring to try and get the final part of the game, finished and polished. I can't imagine, Naughty Dog would be the kind of company who would let a gameplay playable demo out that wasn't polished to a fault. So maybe they have had time to polish early parts of the game to a fault, and they will have a playable demo ready. It'd be fantastic if they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, we're going to see something. Another gameplay trailer at the very least.
I just think because the last trailer, which I think was nearly a year ago now, the previous E3, that was obviously somebody playing the game. And a year's gone by since then. That's why I think it could be playable, but we'll see. We'll see on that one. Maybe the playable part comes into possible, but the trailer is into the highly likely side.
Like it straddles us, and that's a nice segue as we split into.
Exactly. So into the possible now. These are things that we think might happen, could go either way. So kick us off, Tabs.
Yeah, so there's some heavy rumours that there's going to be a Splinter Cell reveal.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the hero of that game franchise, Sam Fisher, I think he's been kind of on a sabbatical for some time now. And there's some real heavy rumours that we're going to see a return to that series. I think Ubisoft have kind of hinted that, they're looking at it, they're working on it, and now seems like good timing. Given that we know MGS is
dead in the water.
You see, yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? After MGS 5, and then what was that game they brought out that was?
Like zombies or something.
The online one.
Was it Survival or something? MGS Survivor or Survival or something like that? Yeah, it was weird.
It didn't get.
Which I didn't play. No.
Didn't get good reviews, I don't think.
No, not at all.
So surely you'd think, for the whole stealth genre, there's a real opportunity here to grab some market share and please some fans.
Yeah,
so
exactly, yeah.
Hopefully we'll see that.
Now, into a bit of a hard-hitting one, this one.
Ooh.
I think there's a possibility we may see an Xbox 2 reveal. Now,
the stuff that E3s are made of, console reveals.
Exactly, yes. Now, we're sort of clutching at straws a little bit on this one, but we know that Sony aren't at E3 this year, which leaves the door open to, sort of pull the rug from under their feet and properly reveal the Xbox 2, which I think is codenamed... what did I say?
Scarlet, is it? Is it Scarlet?
Scarlet, yes. I think there's a possibility Microsoft could jump all over that and think, you know what? Because obviously Sony have revealed some details of the PS5 recently, which suggests that's well underway. So I think there's a possibility that we could see this, especially as their market share is quite poor, really, especially compared to the likes of Sony. What do you think, Tabs?
No, absolutely. Just as you say there, they've not got a lot to lose, have they?
No.
Sony, PlayStation, it's in their interest to hold off from launching or revealing the next gen as long as possible, because they're still, selling PS4s like they've gone out of fashion.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that Microsoft will steal the lead on that and, try and, steal the excitement and the buzz along with it.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, and I know, Microsoft probably want their own mic drop moment. I mean, arguably last year's E3, they won that, didn't they? I think there was a big feeling that it was really nicely done, paced, loads of reveals, drops that were fan pleasers. So could they go and do it again with the reveal of the next gen?
Possibly, yeah. And I think possibly on the back of that, if that does happen, or maybe even if it doesn't, I think there's a possibility that they could really release details or debut the HoloLens 2. That's Microsoft's equivalent of the VR headset for the PlayStation. I think there's a chance that'll come out. There's certainly some rumblings on the internet about that, and
is that the one, Rich?
The Xbox.
Is that the one where they did the Minecraft demo, where it was like an augmented reality thing, and you could kind of explore around it? Is that one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's basically their version of the PlayStation VR, basically.
Yeah.
It's the VR headset for their Xbox in essence. So it'll be interesting to see whether we see another iteration of that. But I think that I doubt whether they would bring that out on the current Xbox. So would that be linked? So if we see the Xbox 2 reveal, we'll see the HoloLens 2 reveal. I don't know. That's an interesting one. But on the flip side, Tabs.
Yes. I was just going to say, I just can't imagine that if Microsoft do come out the doors with the next gen reveal, Sony will just leave it unanswered, because we've known in the past that Sony have a really good track record for responding and replying with aplomb to these kind of challenges put forward by competitors. So I just can't believe that they're not going to have at least a response ready, that if Xbox 2 is revealed, Scarlet, whatever, we'll see some sort of a trailer from Sony drop on, YouTube and whatever in response. Maybe a games montage. even, you know, if it's quite short and sweet, just some way of kind of making sure that the audience knows, hey, don't forget about us because we're coming too.
Undoubtedly, Sony will do something because they're not there. They will not want to have the scenario where, you know, that no one's talking about Sony. So undoubtedly, Sony will do something that's completely unrelated to E3, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, they are. We know they're quite an arrogant company, aren't they? In the sense that they know how well they do. They know they probably don't need to try that hard. So, you know, we've seen, you know, the whole crossplay issue. We saw the State of Play VR drop, where they come across sometimes a bit tone deaf, a bit kind of like, well, we don't really care, you know, what you think because you're going to buy our consoles anyway. So
hopefully that's not the case.
I hope not. But sometimes they've had they're a bit aloof, I would say, as a company. So it's not impossible. We don't see anything, and they just rely on their third parties to, you know, represent the PlayStation flag. But
of course,
I just can't believe they won't respond in kind.
No,
you know, with Cerny's comments and everything recently as well, it just seems, yeah. The stage is set for something epic, I hope.
Yes. All right. Well, and I think next one to talk about is Cyberpunk 2077. 2077.
Woohoo!
You're thinking playable demo, aren't you? I'm skeptical on this.
Yeah, you could be right. It's a game with so many moving parts, and again, they're going to want, if somebody's got their hands on it. And all these kind of journos are going to be testing the game out, you know, looking for all the dirty corners to make sure it works, it plays like it looks, you know, this living, breathing cityscape. So they might not, but at least we've got to have another big, intensive gameplay demo. No more of this behind closed doors stuff. It has to be, you know, centre stage. But
I'd just like to say, and if anyone's watched our... which one is it? Is that a Hype Train video, Tabs?
I think there's a Hype Train you have it on,
or it might be on the PS5 video. I've said I'm not absolutely convinced that Cyberpunk that we've seen the trailers of is actually running on a system that could run it as it would run on a current generation console.
You think it's next-gen hardware, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so just because it's that much of a step up from what we've seen before, so that's the only little caveat I'll put to that as why I think maybe it won't be playable, is because I'm not convinced that it's running on something, on a system. I'm not saying it's running on next gen, but it's running on a system that is more capable than the current generation of consoles, which is why I would suggest it might not be playable, unless they bring the PC version, possibly.
Yeah, to keep the camouflage on next gen stuff. But then if there's a next gen reveal, you know.
Well, yeah, exactly. Maybe this is all linked together. But there we go.
But I will say, surely we'll get a release date. I think we will get a release date for Cyberpunk 2077. I think that's in the highly likely if it does drop. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Next on the list. Go.
Oh, mate, this has got to be you next on the list.
Well, I don't know. This is in dreamland for me, but we're talking Pikmin 4 here, guys. Tabs is absolutely convinced that this game exists. Yes. I have literally lost hope on whether it even exists now. I want this game so badly, and it's not happening. So I'm like, maybe it doesn't exist at all. Maybe
this has got to be your favourite Nintendo franchise, hasn't it, Rich? Or one of the
undoubtedly. Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure there's heavy rumours, and I'm sure there was an article or an interview somewhere with Miyamoto where he said Pikmin 4 was basically done and it was just ready to drop. So it would be amazing, wouldn't it? I think it would be fantastic if they did drop something on Pikmin 4. Yeah.
You know my feelings.
Indeed. So I'll run us into the next one. We've got, on the back of Resident Evil 2 remake, the success of that, Resident Evil 7, return to form for the Resident Evil franchise, I think we could see another Resident Evil remake. So whether that's Nemesis, perhaps even Code Veronica.
I'd love that.
I doubt
I would love that.
I don't know though, mate. I just think, again, is that one that needs a remake? I think it does. I'm replaying it recently. It's quite slow. And
Yeah.
you know, the Resident Evil 2 added so much more zest and life to that experience.
Yeah,
so, but I personally like to see a Resident Evil Nemesis remake. I love that whole, you know, just to continue the whole Mr. X vibe. He was this kind of overpowered character who could stalk you through the game, and you just run away from him because you couldn't really kill him. So I'd love to see that, and you know, perhaps we could have another weekend with the lads on that one, Rich.
Yeah, definitely. Now I think this one's sort of linked possibly to the highly likely, and that's the Xbox Game Pass. Now that Nintendo and Xbox are sort of bosom buddies, it seems, are Nintendo going to lend some IP to Microsoft? What do you think on this, Tabs?
Well, yeah, I think, again, Nintendo recently have been lending IP, haven't they? Pretty much willy-nilly it's got to the stage.
Yeah.
Star Fox with Ubisoft, what before that, Rabbids, Mario Rabbids. We saw, again, Ubisoft. And then what's more recently, we've seen the Zelda IP being lent out to like an indie dev, I think. I forget what the game's called.
Yeah. But obviously they, I don't know, was this Microsoft? Sorry, was this Nintendo, the Mario Play that came out on iOS, was that a Nintendo produced game?
I think so, yeah. I'm not sure on that one, but I would say so, just because it's Mario and I can't see him. Maybe we'd have to look into that one if you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Leave it in the comments. But no, I just think, like you say, with them being very friendly at the moment, and if we did see Game Pass, will it be a nice kind of reciprocal gesture, wouldn't it, to say, here on Microsoft have an IP, and it could be a big kind of scene stealing E3 moment, couldn't it? Like,
yes,
I can't think you'd see Mario or Zelda on Microsoft or an Xbox, but another series, maybe F-Zero or something. Can you imagine? That would be amazing.
Having said that, though, can you imagine a Breath of the Wild supercharged on the Xbox? There's a thought.
God, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But I just,
anyway,
I think, to be honest, we should probably reinstall this in Dreamland. I think it's more likely they'll lend another IP to another third party for a game that comes out on the Switch, not one that comes out on the Xbox. But it'd be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. What's next then, Tabs?
So again, a bit of a rumour, as far as I've seen on the net, is that another instalment of BioShock could be nearing reveal. So I think it would be BioShock 4.
Yeah, brilliant.
So that's after the BioShock Infinite. Ken Levine, who is, I think, been a big leader of that series of games. He's now gone and done his own thing, I think, with they've set up their own independent company. So I think it's Take-Two who are now at the reins with this BioShock 4. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if Ken Levine had much to do with BioShock 2, and that was still a really good game. So I think it could be a great game. They've got so much, kind of mythology, lore to play with the BioShock series. So yeah, excited about that one.
Definitely.
See it.
And then just a couple of quick ones that I think we might see stuff off. Link's Awakening, the sort of like remake, was debuted a few months ago. I think there's a possibility we'll see another trailer on that. Probably not gameplay, I would think. Just probably another trailer similar to what we've seen before. And finally, possibly Luigi's Mansion 3. There's talk that this may debut. I think there's been definite confirmation that they're working on it, but that's all we've had at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see whether they flesh out any details on that.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
So, into what we're classing as Dreamland. Now, this is things that we think it's highly unlikely that we'll see at E3, but if we do, you heard it here first.
And it's fun to speculate, isn't it? It's just fun to speculate about the stuff that we'd love to see that would be really mind-blowing.
Definitely. Now I'll let you go with this first one, Tabs, because I know you're very passionate about this first one.
Yeah, I keep going on about it. I really want to see a GTA on the Switch. So I think the most likely iteration of GTA we'd see is perhaps 4. Might be a nice, relatively nice and easy port to the little old Switch. And it's a great game. I really enjoyed 4, and I don't mind. I'd have GTA 3 though, to be honest, on the Switch. I just want to see a GTA game. So I think there's a Dreamland.
Would you buy it?
Yes, I would. I'm definitely going to say.
Okay.
Especially if they could maybe give it a bit more of a. If it was something like GTA 3, they could make some quality of life changes and maybe a better frame rate or something like that. It would really uplift the experience. And then the other thing I'd love to see on the Switch is a port of a Fallout game. And again, I think Fallout 3 would perhaps be primed. Again, a port that's relatively easy. They could give to a third-party dev team to do, and we've not really seen. I don't think we've seen like a first-person shooter open world game on the Switch, so that could be like a bit of a groundbreaking, flagship sort of experience for the Switch to have.
Definitely, and on the Switch theme, something else that we think is possibly in Dreamland, but I think for 2 reasons. Switch Pro reveal, so that's the first thing, which I think I think that maybe falls into the more possible category, but specifically with the Tegra X2 graphics chip, I think there's definitely that is in Dreamland for me. I know you're holding out hope on that, so I really want to see that. I'm hoping that you're right. I think that'd be great for the console, and also I think it will really open up for third-party devs to come on and do some work on it, because it sort of makes it a little bit easier for them. But I don't know on this. We did a Switch Pro and Mini video earlier on in the year, and I think since then it's sort of been played down of how much of a step up it's going to be. So
Nintendo have been throwing all the fire blankets out there, haven't they, and dousing all the flames of excitement. Yeah. It doesn't seem like they're close to that. Maybe they're working on a next gen Switch, which is 1, 2, 3 years away, but seems there's not going to be much recent.
Go on then, Tabs. Next big one.
Well, no, you kick us off because you seem more convinced of this than me.
Well, I don't know. So it's GTA 6. I'm thinking that so timeline-wise, I think we're almost in the perfect territory for GTA 6 to be revealed. They're obviously working on it. We know that to be almost fact from lots of the things that I've seen rumours on the internet. People who've worked for Rockstar have dropped hints that they're working on GTA 6. Some more cryptic, some less cryptic. But in order for this to drop, it would be out of character for the company. They very rarely reveal anything at E3. Normally they tease that there's a trailer coming online, and then there's a countdown to that trailer, and it blows the internet up. So I think time-wise, this is likely, but I think it's in Dreamland simply because of the fact that it would be outside of what would be the normal working parameters for Rockstar. So
yeah, they very much march to the beat of their own drum, don't they, Rockstar?
Exactly.
So
which is really cool.
Yeah, it is, and they've got that. They can, because they're so successful.
Exactly.
So they can take their time and do their own thing. But how good would it be? Xbox 2 Scarlet gets a reveal, really cool, exciting, and then suddenly a GTA 6 trailer is dropped with some timed exclusivity on the PS5. I mean, that would be a Sony mic drop, wouldn't it?
Oof. Yeah, it'll be like, I take your Xbox 2 and I raise it PS5 with GTA 6 exclusivity.
Exactly.
Boom.
And it would steal all the buzz and the headlines, wouldn't it? So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No one would be talking about Microsoft, would they? But like I say, tread carefully. I think this is very much in the Dreamland. This is so far into the Dreamland. I think this is very unlikely, but very interesting nevertheless.
Mm-hmm.
So, last but not least, Tabs, I think you've got a funny one for us to finish on.
it's interesting because we're about to film on the end of this video our fears for the gaming industry. So to chime in with that, the last one is Google reveals intended plans for world domination. So yeah,
dear, hilarious. So you think there'll be gone?
No, I was just going to say there might be something Google Stadia related.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah,
I think that's really what they've got going on. I'm not sure how far along that is really, how much more they will have done in the last, say, 3 months before they revealed it. But it would be interesting to have news in. But I guess that's why it sits in the dreamland,
It would seem a good idea though, because they want to keep their own relevance, don't they? If it's the big gaming expo of the year, surely they want to at least make their presence felt in some sense.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know.
I don't believe they've got a conference, as in the normal style conference that everyone does. Well, barring Sony this year, I don't think they've got anything planned from what I've read. But that doesn't mean that they'll drop something online separate to that. Much like Sony would have to do. So yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to see what happens on that.
Can you imagine if we had Xbox 2 Scarlet reveal, Sony GTA 6 timed exclusivity, PS5 reveal, and then Google Stadia steps in either with something that is just insane based on their cloud computing capabilities, or really rubbish and tone deaf and a laughing stock.
Can you imagine if it's like Sony go, we'll raise you Xbox 2 with the PS5 GTA 6 exclusivity, and Google go, I see your PS5 GTA 6 exclusivity, and I'll raise you GTA 6 on any mobile device.
See, that would be cool.
Mind blown.
Yeah. And then they somehow show you how it's even better because of the capabilities of cloud computing.
Yeah.
But the other way is they go, and I'll raise you Farming Simulator 17 exclusivity.
Hilarious.
But I don't know.
Anyway, well, I think that concludes everything we could possibly muster for E3 things that could happen. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there. So again, if you liked the video, give us a like. If you didn't like the video, dislike.
Feedback's always welcome.
And don't forget to subscribe and click that bell for notifications. Well, that's another video for the archive.
Stamped and completed.